Okay, here we go. Couple people to let in still. Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for joining us for today's month of service presentation of Coffee and Conversation with the City of Houston Department of Neighborhoods and other department representatives. My name is Nia Murray. I am Programs Coordinator with Neighborhood Recovery Community Development Corporation, and we are one of the partners in the A Month of Service collaboration. Also included is our host for today, is the City of Houston's Department of Neighborhoods, and joining us is Ms. Myra Hippolyte, and also our featured presenting speaker today, Mr. Paul Green with the Department of Neighborhoods, City of Office and Neighborhood Engagement. Also joining us from the City of Houston's Department of Neighborhoods, Ms. Rachel Gutierrez. Included in the partnership as well is Lone Star Legal Aid, the Earl Carl Institute, Houston Volunteer Lawyers, Houston Bar Association, Harris County Appraisal District, and Harris County Tax Assessor Collectors. And just to kind of give you a quick little background about A Month of Service. A Month of Service is a collaboration of these 8 different organizations that come together on a monthly basis and offer a variety of workshops relative to asset building, asset protection, maintaining of generational wealth, and community empowerment. And included in that series of workshops is the Coffee and Conversation. So we're here today to have you hear from featured City of Houston departments that can kind of give you updates on what's going on, what's new, what's the latest, what's the greatest, and also to have the community leaders like yourself to let everyone know what your concerns are, where to go, if you have questions for anything in particular relative to various city departments, who do you talk to, where do you go, so on and so forth. So we wanted to give you that opportunity to do that. And the Department of Neighborhoods have been doing this presentation, the Coffee and Conversation for quite a few years now, and as well as some of the other A Month of Service workshops. Of course, we've had to adapt and adjust due to COVID, but of course that didn't stop us from doing what we wanted to do and help servicing the people of the communities that we all serve. So we're bringing you all this information virtually, letting people know about available resources and services that are out there in the community that you can have access to. In case you don't know or are not aware, in addition to that, that allows you the opportunity to also share the information that we provide to you with someone else that may find the information to be useful as well. Again, this is your opportunity to voice your concerns, ask any questions that you have of the department representatives that are here today. Even if they're not here, then Myra's office will make sure that it gets to the right department that you have the question in regards to. So with that being said, just want to kind of give the little disclaimer that this session is being recorded as well as being presented live on our social media platform at Amos Houston TX. So we ask that you try to keep your questions to be as general as you possibly can. We want to try to protect your privacy as much as we can. So when you're asking your questions, please not reveal too much detailed personal information. I live at the corner of blah, 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 and XYZ next door to so-and-so, and, that kind of thing. So we want to make sure that we kind of keep that information to yourselves as much as we possibly can. So information also typically that is presented from any of our other presentations, we want to let you know that it is for educational purposes only. We do encourage you to reach out to any of our partners if you have any particular questions or any issues that may cause you of some concern. So with that being said, I'd like us to go ahead and have the partners introduce themselves directly, and we will move right on into the presentation. If there are any questions, please feel free to type them into the chat, or you can wait until the end and just unmute yourself and we'll have a conversation. So, we don't want this presentation to feel like we're talking at you. We want everybody to be as interactive as you possibly can, as if we were in person. So feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question, raise your hand, however it is that you want to do it. If you also are joining us on Facebook, please feel free to type your questions into the comments and we will read them aloud at the end to be answered. So with that being said, Ms. Myra, Go ahead, take it away.
Thanks, Ms. Nia. Good morning, everyone. My name is Myra Hippolyte, and I work with the City of Houston Department of Neighborhood Office of Neighborhood Engagement. And I know this is called Coffee and Conversation, but I am having my green tea frappuccino, thanks to Ms. Nia that got me hooked on this. So those of you that are having coffee, go ahead and drink your coffee while I'm having my green tea frappuccino. Guys, the month of service is all about giving back free information to the Houston, Harris County, State of Houston community. And on behalf of Mayor Sylvester Turner and Director Takasha Francis, we would like to welcome you to the month of service program. It's all about giving you back free information. You know, a lot of times we go through different stressors in our life, and we go through different situations. We have different disasters that we go through. We have different personal situations that we deal with. And many of the times we don't know where to get the right information or where to even start. Let's just say you have a fire in your home and you have to talk to your adjuster. You're wondering, oh my God, what is it that I need to be able to explain to this adjuster the right information of what's happening in my life? And how would I go about by arguing or not arguing, debating their decision on what happened or the disaster that happened at my home? Well, we as the partners of the month of service are here to assist you, to let you know you're not alone. We'll help you with any information that you need. We'll help you step by step. One of the things that we will not do is hold your hand. By that, I mean, it's up to you to come to our virtual workshops and see it for yourself, get educated. One of the things that we love about this program is all about giving everyone, I don't care who you are, all the information you need to be able to assist you with whatever stressor you're going through. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. And we will be starting Coffee and Conversation in just a minute. Mr. Paul, would you like to introduce yourself, sir? Thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you guys once again for joining us. It's a pleasure to be a guest here and to have the opportunity to have a conversation with everyone that is out there. Taking Miss Myra's point, I'm not a coffee drinker. I am drinking cold ice water. So please, you know, drink your coffee, drink your teas, drink your frappuccinos, drink your Cokes, drink whatever. If you, what's that old saying? If you got to drink it. So whatever you got drinking this morning, enjoy, and we can get ready and get started. I'm going to go ahead and get my screen shared. But before I do that, I would actually like to offer the table to one of my other employees that's here on the conversation, Miss Rachel Gutierrez. I'll let her introduce herself, and then I'll share my screen and we can all get started. Miss Rachel.
Thank you, Paul. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rachel Gutierrez with the Department of Neighborhoods Office of Neighborhood Engagement as a Community Outreach Coordinator. And I hope you enjoy our presentation in regards to the Department of Neighborhoods and our newly created division of the Office of Neighborhood Engagement. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Rachel. And all right, here we go. So once again, my name is Paul Green. I have the pleasure of being with you here today, and truly it is a pleasure anytime I get an opportunity to spend time with folks that I don't know but are citizens of this great city. And I am a big proponent, big citizen of the great city. So I'm truly here and I truly enjoy this. I am the new division manager for the newly minted Office of Neighborhood Engagement. I'm gonna the next slide, we're going to get, excuse me, I'm getting tongue-tied. We're going to get into the office and the different programs that it has. But for your information, if you have any questions, you have my information there on the screen. My office number is area code 832-393-1061. And my cell phone number is area code 713-280-9910. Now, if I cannot help you, I'll definitely point you in the right direction to get whatever question or whatever situation that you have answered. I know we're going to be here probably for the better part of the next 45 minutes to an hour. So like I said, I'm looking forward to the conversation part while you guys are drinking your coffee. And did I do that right? I don't think I did that right. Okay, so I'm looking, see now, next, I'm trying to go to the next slide. That's not, oops.
Just go to page down. Sometimes you have to hit page down.
Page down. Yeah, page down. Yeah, it's not.
Escape and try it again.
No, let's try this again. All right.
Or try to hit
There we
enter.
go. All right, thank y'all. I know I'm not a big virtual person. As you can see, I'm very technically challenged. That's why I have these two amazing women that's gonna help me throughout this PowerPoint. Because God knows what I'm gonna be pushing and what I'm gonna be saying. So let's all just strap in and enjoy ourselves, all right? So first of all, this is the agenda for today. We're gonna talk about the Office of Neighborhood Engagement. We're gonna talk about our signature programs within that division, starting off with volunteering. Then of course, we can't forget the month of service, and our signature bright star within the department right now is our Complete Communities University. We're gonna then go into our Mayor's Youth Council. We have a matching grants program that we'll have the opportunity to talk about as well. Our Bandit Science program, and then we're going to round that up with our our voter engagement program, and then we're going to open up the floor for questions. So if I run my mouth too much, or if I talk too fast, just ask me to slow down and I'll rewind it and bring it back for you. So let's get started. So a brief introduction to the Office of Neighborhood Engagement. The Office of Neighborhood Engagement partners with community-based organizations and volunteers to promote volunteer opportunities for residents and provide needed programming for communities. The division is focused on providing all Houston residents with a wide range of opportunities for both accessing information and providing feedback, with the goal of increasing meaningful and authentic civic participation. The team brings city government closer to communities and our resources and liaisons to community members, helping Houston residents to be more civically engaged. And I think the biggest takeaway from this particular slide is our job is really to help Houstonians be more civically engaged and get involved with government, because government works best when it works for its people, and it works best when its people works with us, right? And so that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on, is the civic engagement piece and engaging citizens to give back to their communities and supporting them in the way that they give back, no matter what that may be. And so the first program that we have the pleasure of talking about is the volunteer program. I kind of went straight into this presentation, but I've been with the city for 18 years now. And one of the jobs that I had and I still have is the volunteering programs initiatives. And I've had that particular responsibility since right before Harvey. I know we're about to celebrate the anniversary of Harvey, coming to the city, but right before Harvey, I was the volunteer initiatives coordinator for the city. And Harvey definitely taught me a lot of things about volunteering and the good spirit and the well-being of citizens giving back to their neighbors. So the Volunteer Initiatives Program was launched in 2004 to engage residents in volunteer public service activities sponsored by city departments, nonprofit agencies and community groups throughout the city. The program provides information about volunteer opportunities and serves as a volunteer recruitment resource for community groups. So the volunteer programs, it is for citizens to give back, and it's for us to give, to support the vision of the city. You'll always, there's so much work to be done in the city, and a lot of times we don't have enough bandwidth or arms to do said work. So what better than to work with our neighbors and our partners and our community organizations to volunteer to work and to give back to that work, rather. So the Volunteer Initiatives Program, its main function is to help departments or divisions within the city complete their work. So you can either volunteer for the Department of Neighborhoods, you can volunteer for the library, you can volunteer for Parks and Rec, you can volunteer for Mayor's Office of Special Events. The volunteer initiatives programs, we have a website where volunteers or where citizens can go and sign up and look at all the different volunteering opportunities, not just within the city, but also with other nonprofit organizations that may be right around your corner that we're supporting and that we're trying to bring you information for the different things that they may be doing. We actually have so we partner with the organizations. Our biggest partner obviously would be Volunteer Houston. So we kind of go hand in hand. We work symbiotically with each other to support each other's vision and giving back to the community as a whole. And if you look at the screen, these are just some volunteering projects that we've done in the past. Our Good Neighbor Project, that's the picture in the middle. So during the summer, we get a group of volunteers that are willing to go out and cut the lawns of senior citizens here in the city. We essentially give them a month of free cutting so they can keep the services or that money that they would normally pay for or that they would do themselves in their pocket, so we'll get a group of volunteers to go out and assist them with keeping their lawns clean. We've also had our September 11th day of service. Every September 11th, I partner with local school districts and schools to write thank you cards and give goodie bag to veterans here within the city to thank them for their service. As you can see the picture to my left, probably your right, it's a picture of young men writing thank you cards to veterans that have served this country with great distinction and teaching them. The goal of the program is to teach them about September 11th and what happened to our country, but also let them know about the different options that they might have if they would like to join the military. And the final picture to my right is called the Community Pickup Project. And that's when we've gotten a group of volunteers together and they've gone and do what the project name says, pick up stuff, right? So we're picking up limbs, we're picking up trash, we're picking up different debris that in the street or at your neighborhood parks. So those are just some brief examples of some of the volunteer projects that we do. The beauty of the Volunteer Initiatives Programs Office is that we work with anyone, and then anyone that wants to engage with us, whether there's youth, whether there's young adults, whether there's seasoned adults. Our job at the end of the day is to give back to the community and to support the visions here of the city. And next we have a month of service, which we all should be familiar with. This is a phenomenal program hosted by some phenomenal partners. And once again, I just want to say how honored I am to be here with you, working with them and kind of talking about a month of service on their behalf. So Don, Department of Neighborhoods has partnered with TSU, Earl Call Institute Neighborhood Recovery Community Development Corporation, Houston Volunteer Lawyers, Harris County Tax Department, Lone Star Legal Aid, and Houston Complete Communities to bring a month of service. A month of service program to the Houston community is always free to attend. The program provides an immense amount of information pertaining to estate planning, including a will-a-thon, senior security asset protection, how to create your own estate plan, property tax exemptions, clearing title. Each month, a month of service will be in a different Houston community. And that's why we're here, right? To support you guys, to not just support you, your families as well. And definitely a month of service does that. And if you look at the screen here, these are just some of the workshops that the month of service will be discussing in the upcoming months or have already had to discuss. Understanding the immigration system for those citizens that may be joining us that need that information. Homeowners associations, community empowerment. As a homeowner myself, definitely being able to know what my rights are. Definitely learning to protect my rights and working with just to be empowered in dealing with my homeowners association. And finally, but surely not least, the Will Clinic. Will Clinic is amazing in supporting citizens keeping that generational wealth in their families and being able to not just support themselves, but from generations to come. Complete Communities University. Ms. Rachel mentioned that earlier. If you see the picture in the middle of the screen, that was our last cohort, our last graduating class. Complete Communities University is an 8-week training course for emerging leaders committed to making a positive impact in their communities. Course topics include leadership development through civic engagement, volunteerism, and voter education. They also get an opportunity to learn how the city and county government function and impact neighborhoods, and they also get an opportunity to effectively navigate city services and local resources. Due to COVID-19, Complete Communities courses have taken online, but I have breaking news, breaking press for you. Complete Community, this upcoming cohort will be a hybrid model. So we'll have the opportunity to obviously meet online, which was good for some folks, but my preference, obviously, meeting in person and meeting these dynamic emerging leaders within their communities. Currently, we are accepting applications for Complete Community University until the 31st of this month. After the 31st of this month, we're going to sort through those applications and we're going to pick some emerging leaders coming from all over the city. And we're going to be putting them through this training ground and working with them to develop their passions and to develop whatever dreams or goals that they might have within their communities. So if you're interested in attending a Complete Communities workshop, or you still have time, you have till August 31st. So go ahead and, you can go on the department's website, you go on to the Office of Neighborhood Engagement website as well, and you'll see it right there, Complete Communities University. There's an online application that you can fill out. Actually, I got 3 applications yesterday, late last night. So, folks are signing up. So I encourage you, if you're interested in being a part of CCU University, definitely go ahead and sign up. We look forward to working with you and supporting you in your vision. Youth. So what do we do with our kids, right? The Mayor's Youth Council, what we call the voice of Houston youth. These are young, amazing youth that represent the youth of their communities. The Mayor's Youth Council operates similarly to City Council. So this year we'll have, 20 spots. We'll have each an individual representing their district. We'll have 4 A's and we'll also have 4 at-large spots. And these youth are the youth they represent the youth of the city. So the mission of the Mayor's Youth Council is to promote civic engagement by youth. The Mayor's Youth Council provides high school students with opportunities to learn about city government, develop leadership skills, and bring awareness to issues that are important to Houston's youth. Throughout the course of the school year, the Mayor's Youth Council members learn about city government through interaction with local officials. This is just an amazing opportunity for some young people that are really engaged in their community and they really want to learn more about local government and local leadership. Unfortunately, last week Friday was the last day of applications. So currently right now we're reviewing 100 applications for the Mayor's Youth Council. And when I say these applications, they are absolutely amazing. As citizens of this great city, I am so proud of the next generation and what these young people have gotten themselves into. We have young people starting nonprofit organizations. We have young people that have started for-profit organizations. We have young people that are really vested in their community and trying to figure out what they can do to not just support their vision, but the vision of their community and their neighbors that are within that those communities make up. So we are so excited about the Mayor's Youth Council. It's a lot of work. Reading over 100 applications. Actually, last night when I got home from work, I still had work to do. So I was up to about 10:30, 11 o'clock last night, reading some of the applications. And it's going to be some hard choices that have to be made. But I am proud to say that it's a great thing to make those hard choices because these young people are absolutely phenomenal. And these are just some projects that the Mayor's Youth Council have done over the years. You can see there's an inauguration. We'll have our inauguration the last week of September. We have service learning projects that they participate in. Some of the service learning projects that they participated in is Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day of Service. Several years ago, we made care packages for the homeless. And we went out with HPD and Harris County, their hot teams, and these youth provided services to the homeless as well. We also have Global Youth Service Day that happens in April. Global Youth Service Day is a day that every youth in the world, they serve their community. So they'll develop a service learning project and they'll go out and execute that project. And I've had the pleasure of working with the Mayor's Youth Council on several of these Global Youth Service Day projects. And then the following photo is a picture of Volunteer Houston Together. Volunteer Houston Together is a group of nonprofit organizations that we come together and we let citizens here in the city know about the amazing nonprofit organizations here in the city that they can volunteer for. We, kind of showcase their visions. They kind of showcase their best volunteers. That's also in the month of April. And you just get an opportunity to learn where you would want to connect. A lot of calls that I get here with the city, people don't understand or they don't know, where can I connect? What can I do to give back? They just don't know where to start. And that particular event kind of teaches people where to start, what's going on in their neighborhoods and how they can support those nonprofit organizations. Next, we have our matching grants. Our matching grants program. Our matching grants program, the Neighborhood Matching Grant Program helps neighborhoods fund various beautification and improvement projects by providing dollar-for-dollar matching grant reimbursement ranging from $500 to $5,000. The program is administered in partnership through the City of Houston's Department of Neighborhoods and City of Houston Council members' offices. It is designed to build solid relationships among neighbors, cultivate the spirit of volunteerism, and to develop projects that build a sustainable and stronger community. And if you look at the pictures, these are just pictures of just different matching grants programs that have been done, whether it's updating your stop signs or updating the signs on your streets, beautifying your esplanade or beautifying your neighborhood park. These are some of the projects that have been done. The deadline for the matching grants program is November the 4th. And so if you or any of your community partners are interested in this program, definitely go to the website. There's more information there on the website. There's also a training video that kind of give you all the information that you need along with the application. Once you complete the application and you view the training video, then you're free to go and contact your district council members' offices and kind of talk to them about your project before you go back and consult with your community and kind of figure out what you guys want to do to beautify and support your communities. Bandit sign, everybody's favorite nuisance, right? So we also have a bandit sign program here with the Office of Neighborhood Engagement. This program is a volunteer program designed to remove illegally placed bandit signs in council districts D and K. This pilot program is strategically planning events near school zones, community parks, childcare facilities, multi-service centers to increase public safety and reduce environmental hazards. We are about to hit voting season, and so you're going to see a lot of voting. You're going to see a lot of bandit signs as people, promote their candidates and then leave that promotion in your yards. Our job is to, like I said, this program is to pull those bandit signs up and support and reduce environmental hazards within your communities. And these are just some typical bandit signs that you would see. The We Buy Houses sign. You see the picture in the middle says bandit signs, and sometimes I wonder how people get up telephone poles, but they do just for these bandit signs. And then you can also see some of the other signs that you might see just placed in your yard or placed on the sidewalk or placed in the street as in certain communities here within the city. And finally, I know I've been kind of running my mouth. Gonna take a deep breath. I'm back, I'm better. One of our final initiatives that we've been eagerly anticipating and working on is voter engagement. Our voter engagement program is a nonpartisan initiative to increase participation in every election by registering new voters and advancing civic education to create and maintain an informed, engaged electorate. This year, along with the Mayor's Youth Council, we will be targeting newly 18-year-old high school students. We're going to be supporting grassroots organizations that goal is voter engagement. So we're going to be going with them into the classrooms and assisting them in the teaching of voter education, letting these young people know who their candidates are and what the candidates, their hopes and their dreams, what they're saying about certain issues and certain topics. And then after getting the young folks registered to vote, obviously encouraging them to vote and go let their voices be heard. Now that doesn't just apply to young people. Obviously that applies to more seasoned citizens like myself. Definitely trying to encourage folks to go out and let your voice be heard, no matter what your political affiliation may be. We all know that, speaking and letting us know and letting the world know what you think, how you feel is a great way to do that, is to vote and to have, and also hold our candidates accountable for the things that they say that they're going to do as well. So in closing, it has been a pleasure. I know I kind of ran through that fairly quickly. I hope it wasn't too quick, but definitely wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit more about the Office of Neighborhood Engagement. Once again, my name is Paul Green. I am the Division Manager of the Office of Neighborhood Engagement. My contact information is area code 832-393-1061. That's my office number, or my cell phone number, 713-280-9910. I'm going to also give you my email address, which I forgot to put on my presentation, and that is Paul, Paul, .green, GREEN, at HoustonTX.gov. Please reach out to me, contact me. I know we have some time. A lot of time rather. We have time for questions, but if you don't get your questions asked and you're viewing this tape or you're viewing this live stream and you just want to shoot me an email and ask whatever question that you might have, definitely shoot that information over to me, and I look forward to talking with you and answering and supporting whatever question or whatever concern that you might have. And with that, I am done with the presentation part of Coffees and Conversation. So now let's get down to the conversation part of Coffees and Conversation. I am ready to go.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. One of the things that we do here is we want everyone to show yourselves and, either send a chat and ask questions, or you can ask your questions personally. Just make sure to raise up your hand and ask the questions. I see Ms. Kim Haddon here. Thank you, Ms. Kim, for coming. Ms. Walton, thank you, everyone. Ms. Evans, Ms. Glendia, thank you. Mr. Wallace, guys, Ms. Mansfield, how are you doing? And how is Ms. Foreman? Guys, we want to welcome you back to the month of service. Are there any questions right now? Ms. Walton, go ahead and unmute yourself if you'd like to have a question.
Thank you. This is a very nice presentation. I'm a frequent flyer of 311.org. You can ask my council member, she'll tell you that. I have a couple of questions and I'm not sure where to go with them. In our subdivision, we get constant complaints because I'm on the board of our HOA. So about the parking, we have people that park right on and I know it's public streets so they can park, but they get to where they park so close to the intersection and there might be 10 cars, down and across even. So when you get to the corner and you want to turn right, you don't know if you turn, are you going to get smacked by someone coming the other direction? Can you deal with that? And is there a place where or rules that you can only park so many feet from a corner?
Yes, ma'am. So there are.
Is that the HPD?
First of all, that's a great question. I want to thank you, Ms. Walton, for joining us and asking that question. Typically to your question, yes, there are rules to parking and driving. I know sometimes we forget those. I say that all the time when I'm in the car with my wife and she's driving in and out of intersection. I'm like, oh my God, okay. Who gave you your license? She can't hear me, so I can say it's okay. But there are
Oh, tell her.
The city does have a parking authority, and we do have essentially meter maids that do walk the block. If you would shoot me an email, I can give you a great contact for that, Ms. Walton. Paul.green@HoustonTX.com.
I got your number. I got
Okay,
it written down.
you got everything, right? Okay, yeah.
Get ready, Paul.
If you shoot me an email, I have I've done some volunteer projects with that particular department. So I know some folks over there. So I can definitely route you and give you the right contact of someone that can answer that question more specifically and definitely support you.
Okay, another question. I have my list. When you submit a service request to 311, and I know it goes, they're just the conduit, they take it and it goes to neighborhood. How is the proper way to go back when your request shows resolved and it's not resolved?
I would, at that point, obviously you need to have your request number.
I got that. Okay.
And then I would just ask the findings. I know we had a situation like that earlier this month where we had a 311 request that was resolved, and I got looped in on the email and it was not resolved. And what essentially happened, what the citizen did was they contacted the department that the request was routed to, and then they just asked to speak to a supervisor. Then another supervisor came out to assist them with that particular issue that they had. So maybe in whomever fielded your request, in their mind it was resolved, but obviously you're thinking it's not. So there's a way.
No, a water leak that was reported at the end of July.
Gotcha.
It's still leaking.
It's still leaking, yeah. Well, then
that's not resolved. I'm
yes,
sorry.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, I would definitely follow up. At that point, I would definitely follow up with the department.
Well, I sent a note to Tiffany's office, so.
Oh, you go. Oh, Miss Thomas. Oh, so
yeah, she and I good buddies.
So you live in District F?
Yes.
What part? You don't have to be specific, but
Well, yeah, I live in District F. I've been out. I've actually lived out in this area since 1969.
Oh, wow.
When there was dirt roads, a 2-lane dirt road down Bel Air Boulevard, before this area got built up. So let me since I retired, I've gotten very active in our HOA and the city government and volunteering.
Yes,
so
okay.
I'm into that. And the other biggest, I'm sure you hear this constantly, is the loose dogs.
Yes. Yeah. And that would be bark.
Yeah.
Miss Walton, I am a proud graduate of Alief Elsik High School.
So are my sons.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm attended and graduated way back in 1995, which seems like yesterday, but it's over 30 plus years ago. Love Alief. I still have the pleasure of volunteering. I have friends and family that live in Alief, and I still volunteer in that particular community. So definitely, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure seeing a former at District F alum. How you, Bob?
Oh yeah. We love our little area, and I live on a cul-de-sac where there's people have been here since 19, whatever's will age me, but no, I just I know that's a huge thing, and I think what bothers me is where I live. The street that I live on goes straight into an elementary and a middle school. Kids are coming out, and there's loose dogs roaming everywhere. And I usually take pictures and I send them to Jared over at Bark, and they're really good about coming out. But I just, and you don't know who the dogs belong to, so it's. It's kind of hard to get Bark to go out and be able to ticket someone, but my concern is the kids' safety.
Yes, ma'am. And then, maybe another step you can take is potentially contacting that school.
Oh, yeah.
Because, obviously they have police campus officers and things of that nature. So maybe them along with Bark can kind of triage the situation and figure out what's best, obviously, for their students, because no one wants their students to get bit by dogs. So maybe that's another step that you can look into as well. as a
Yeah,
concerned citizen.
because I know Tiffany's, they've been spending money, they've been doing sweeps.
Mhm.
Because they do call me, let me know they're getting ready to do a sweep. Do I have any vagrants I need to report to them so they can pick them
Gotcha.
up? So, but yeah, I mean that, it's just irresponsible pet owners or people that
Yes.
are now what I see, what we've been seeing is a lot of dumping. I
Mm.
actually saw a guy and I wasn't close enough to get, but I followed him and what noticed he in the back of his pickup, he had a kennel with a dog in it.
Mhm.
And I followed him down the road and was trying not to be conspicuous. He pulls over and it feels open the kennel, lets the dog out.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if it's, because of COVID and inflation or whatever, but that's just, I feel sad because I have 2 puppies. So, okay, well, that's all I have right now. Maybe someone else will bring me a question or pop something into my mind.
Well, I look forward to your email.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Walton. It was great to hear you and great to see you. Are there any other questions? I think Ms. Mansfield had a couple of questions. Ms. Mansfield, are you able to ask the questions personally, or would you like me to ask them for you? One of the questions Ms. Mansfield wanted you to discuss was the bandit sign program, specifically in District K.
Well, that's a new program that Miss Myra and myself are working on. And we actually have a meeting coming up this week to discuss it further. It's been a lot of support from District K because District K does have a lot of bandit signs programs on that in their area. We're definitely going to be reaching out to volunteers, to those that want to be a part of that program. We're mirroring that program similarly to Harris County's bandit sign program. And so you'll definitely be hearing more information about that program within the next couple of weeks. And for as, dates and things that we're going to essentially have folks out there working to, remove those bandit signs in that particular council district.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Paul Green with Neighborhood Recovery just asked a question. Thanks, Mr. Green. Mr. Paul Charles. I'm talking about Paul Green and Paul Charles.
Mr. Charles, how you doing?
He asked a question.
Well, thank you. Yourself.
There he is. Mr. Charles, would you like to ask a question yourself?
No, you can feel free.
Thank you, sir. Does the department do inspections of private property that is overgrown? What happens in those situations, and does that include construction sites?
Now, I could not answer that question in regards to construction sites, but I do know in regards to overgrown lots, if you contact 311, generally that's going to be routed back to our department, if I'm not mistaken, Ms. Myra, and then we'll have one of the inspectors go out and they'll inspect the property, and then they'll make a determination at that particular point in time if the citizen needs to be cited or not. What happens a lot of times, the inspectors will try to work with those families, because sometimes I got an email, just case in point, I got an email the other day about a gentleman that is a senior citizen. He has cancer, his wife has cancer, he has an overgrown lot. And so the inspector was trying to see what organization or what nonprofit or what group of volunteers could come out and support that family during this time while they're in that midst of this transition. So I say all that to say that the inspectors, definitely try not to always trying to be punitive, but trying to work with the family and see that the situation has been resolved. If there's a situation that you're dealing with now in that, then definitely contact 311 and then let the process start. And then someone from the department will definitely follow up on that.
And also on construction, if there's violations on construction property that is going through a construction, building inspections, it handles that. Because when you're constructing a house, apartment, condominium, there's specific rules that they have to, the contractor has to abide by, or the builder. One of them is they have to keep the property clean. They have to have dumpsters. So if you have that specific situation that is either a condo, house, business, commercial, you're having a problem with that kind of issue, with debris or trash or building material, make sure to call 311. And if within a month, if you don't hear anything back, make sure to call 311 and you want to expedite your concern, and they'll refer you to that department, which is the building inspections, Public Works building inspections, and they will assist you with that problem. And
Thank you, Ms. Myra.
thank you, Mr. Green. The next question is, we need speed bumps on my street, on Lyndhurst. Our street is the last street before Belfort, and people cut onto our street to avoid a Belfort light at MLK. Correct. Mr. Green, for speed.
Sounds like a great idea for a matching grants project.
Mhm.
So like I said earlier, you can go online, look at the website, and take the tutorial class that kind of explains the matching grants process, the program as a whole. If Ms. Rachel or Ms. Myra would mind they might, if they can, put that link in the chat where you can go and you can just sign up. Press the link and you can go right to the chat. And then once you complete the video, then the application, then you contact your council district's office. And that sounds like an amazing matching grants project that could remedy that situation.
And in that process, they could also contact their council members and let them know they're applying for that matching grant.
Mhm.
Because at the end, the council members are the ones who approve all your matching grants. Am I correct? Or
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it's up to the discretion of your council member.
okay.
But that sounds like an amazing project. Definitely making the streets safer, speed bumps, safer for everyone. So definitely go click on that link, get the information you need, and watch the tutorial video. And then after you watch the video, you'll get an email from me, and then I'll let you know the next steps after that.
The next question that we had is, how do we submit names of seniors that might be in need of lawn services?
If you would go to your CAO, Citizens Assistance, if the multi-service centers, there's we have part of our department, we have Citizens Assistance Office. If you would go and let them know that you have a senior within the community that may be in need of lawn service, they definitely will contact me and let me know. I want to let you know off the start that obviously that is a volunteer program. So essentially that program runs if we have volunteers that are willing to do the work. I'm actually recruiting some volunteers now for this upcoming month of September. And so as long as we have volunteers that are willing to go out there and cut some grass and do some sweat equity, then we'll definitely be taking those names and supporting those seniors that are in those situations. So it's just really a lot of that just depends on volunteers and people wanting to volunteer.
Ms. Walton, did you have another question? I saw you go off mute.
I was going to say, you can also, on the speed bumps, I just put a note in that I just received one from my council member's office because we're putting in an application for one in our area. So I've got the actual application.
Ms. Walton, you're amazing.
Hey, trying to make our city better and safer.
Yes, ma'am.
There's another question here. Can you install cameras on the street to help with crime and have people pay if they use the service?
That would be an HPD question. I could not, I know the mayor had recently kind of discussed his One Safe Houston program. And I know as part of that program, they were looking to have businesses install cameras, making sure that they have them around their perimeter and things of that nature. But the meat of that question, I think would be better served for someone in law enforcement.
I have a question about the grant program
Yes, sir.
and tying it to speed bumps. How much money is in the grant program, or what's the grant amount that is allocated per grant?
So the city will match you up until $5,000.
Okay.
So we will reimburse whoever the vendor is $5,000. So depending upon the speed bumps, how many, like I said, that's a question going back to your city council district's office and definitely discussing that with them in further detail. They can give you a better answer in regards to, how much it ultimately cost may be, but the city will, for the program, the city will reimburse you $5,000. Does that answer your question, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Ms. Mansfield has another question. Even though I live in an HOA, we have a park that is open to those outside of our subdivision. Is it possible to have trees donated, or do we apply for a matching grant?
You can apply for a matching grant. I would send you to the video as well and make sure that you, after you viewed the video, you received an email from me, contact your councilman district office and see, and they'll let you know the next steps. So this program, I think the application went live, the matching grants application went live probably in June or July, if I'm not mistaken. So we've gotten, I know I've gotten a lot of emails, and your council district offices rather have gotten a lot of emails. So if you're truly interested in the program, I would definitely kind of put a rush on that interest and get the video viewed. It explains all your questions that you may have. And then once you view the video, like I said, then I'll get an email and I'll reach out to you. And then the next step after that will be contacting your council district's office.
Ms. Walton just included some information here. She says that Trees for Houston is giving away trees for free.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Ms. Mansfield, please contact Trees of Houston because they are donating smaller trees, but contact Trees of Houston. I'll send you their phone number.
Is there, let's see, is there a grant, or are there grants to have large trees removed, in particular those trees that will endanger lives if fallen in a storm?
I could not answer that one way or the other. I think that may be a parks question. That may be a Parks and Rec question that they can answer that question more so. But more than
Ms. Walton knows.
Ms. Walton, why don't you just cut me out and just view me on the screen?
And the only reason I know this is if you have a tree, because we have some that I just worked last week with the forester, because we have some trees on an esplanade that the limbs are blocking the traffic lights. So, and then there's one that same kind of thing like that. And if you put in a 311 request, the forester, they do contact you and they will come out and look at the trees. And if they're in danger, they put them on the list to get cut, or which is what he did with mine. But yeah, the park, like I said, I've gotten real active. I'm learning about all these things in the city. But they will put a 311 request in.
Yeah.
And that's what Coffee and Conversation is all about. You know, we at the City of Houston would love to say we have all the answers, but the greatest part about Coffee and Conversation is we have great community leaders that know the process already, and they're willing to help and share whatever they've gone through, all the information they have to share with the other community members. Hello, Ms. Fairlock, I see you.
Yes. That was my questions about the bandit signs. Okay. I don't know. Now you're getting me mixed up with Ms. Mansfield. All right. My question is this: why does it take so long? I think Ms. Walton talked about this question about, I've had a water leak in front of my house for a month. And we had to go through several channels. And today they finally showed up after we called in yesterday to tell them to expedite this. This water has been running for a whole month. It created a sort of like a mosquito, pond there, because it's ponding in front of our houses. And I just like to know why, you have to go through all of this, to get somebody to come out here and do something. As I said, yesterday, we tried to expedite it, and then somebody showed up today.
Mhm. Well, Ms. Skerlock, I know you from some of the work I did with Mayor's Anti-Gang Office in your community. A couple of Christmas events that we did with bikes and giving out bikes to youth that were in your the Hiram Clark community. So first of all, I'd like to apologize. It should not have taken that long for the issue to be resolved. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't have an answer of why it took so long for the situation to be resolved. It could have been a myriad of events that delayed the situation to be resolved. And I would definitely let you know that the mayor believes that that is unacceptable. And so as a concerned citizen, obviously, I know you've already contacted your council district's office. I would ask you to go a step further and see whoever the 311 request went to, contact their boss, right? You know, and kind of hold our feet as an organization, our feet to the fire, because if it happens to you, there's a potential it can happen to anyone else. And you know, we don't want that. We don't want the city doesn't necessarily want the city doesn't want mosquitoes and things becoming that way. Did we lose her?
I'm still here.
Okay, the city doesn't want that to happen. So I would definitely take this up as many challenges you can to hold whoever's responsible's feet to the fire.
Well, I'll try that because it was starting to, it was creating a big hole in my lawn.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
How is your lawn, by the way?
my what?
Your lawn? You said it was creating a big hole. I said, how is
Yeah.
your lawn?
Well, they're out there now. They've taken, they have dirt and everything. They dug up half my yard.
Okay.
And one thing I want to be sure of, when they leave here, they don't leave mud in front of my house.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I would educate you and advise you to take plenty of pictures.
Okay.
So if that does happen, you have documentation to say, hey, you know, when you before you got here, look this way, and then you're left of the shambles. So definitely do that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Skerlock. I'm glad to see you're doing well.
Ms.
Good afternoon.
had a question. There's a man riding around and has spoken to him. Who would I need to speak to, just in case if he's homeless, that can assist him?
So the city has a homeless department in the mayor's office. You can definitely reach out to them. I cannot think of that gentleman's name right now. But if you reach out to them, he can provide some additional resources. Also, the city has hot teams, whether it's HPD or it's the county or the sheriff's department. They have hot teams that you can make a call and say, you know, hey, there's a homeless gentleman here and look like he needs some services, or you know, I had the situation that happened like that last month where a coworker of mine works for the city, same situation. There was a homeless gentleman that was out in the dead of the heat. You know, it was 1,000 degrees outside, and he was out on the concrete, and he reached out to one of the hot teams, and they were able to provide the gentleman with some additional services.
Are there any other more questions?
I heard someone unmute themselves that was about to answer a question.
Yes, this is Miss Ernest. Good afternoon. I mean,
How you
good
doing,
morning.
Miss
to me.
Ernest?
How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. We've been out for a moment, but I'm doing wonderful. Not on my computer at home, but on my phone. It's a bad thing. But I want to ask a question about the going back. I'm writing down Volunteer Houston Together. I know Mr. Paul Green. I can probably email you regarding that information. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome, because I enjoy volunteering. Another question, I have problems. The school has started, and on the end of a street, Winfield and Fraser River, parents park there to pick up their children, and it blocks the street, the intersection. And I've called the police officers during the school time, and went over and sent an email to the principal to ask her to open that other lot. The principal was there years ago. Mr. Martinez built an extra lot for the parents to walk up and pick up their children. And I said, I understand about the walking, you know, during the COVID. that they can't come on the grounds, but it's blocking our streets because we have so many buses
Coming
picking
through.
up children in the area.
Mhm.
And it's causing a big problem with traffic. So let me ask the question, can I get Department of Neighborhood to talk to that principal of that school? Because the police officers has talked with them, has talked with the parents in that area. I
Mhm.
went over and spoke with the principal, but seems as though nobody's listening about opening that gate to let the parents come in and the teacher walk the kids to the parents right there.
Mhm. Yeah, that
I'm
would be a HISD issue. I would look into speaking with someone either on the HISD school board or um, someone in the HISD main offices that wouldn't, if the Department of Neighborhoods went there, we could talk to her till we're blue in the face. That doesn't necessarily mean that the situation is going to be addressed. You're probably going to get your best buck is to talk to someone within HISD. I'm dealing with a similar situation. I drop my daughter off every day at school, and last year we had a different principal, so the drop off was a little bit different, and traffic obviously was the first week, so traffic was really, really heavy, and it's been that way as well this week, the second week. So, some of it may be just the fact that it's the first weeks of school, and everyone's kind of getting used to the process of coming back and those things, or it may be a long-term situation. But I would definitely reach out to someone from HISD, maybe the administration building over at HISD. They could definitely help you resolve that issue.
I reached out to the trustee board, Mrs. Diana. I can't remember her last name. I sent her an email because she's the trustee board in that area, and I received no response. And this has started happening last year when in the middle of school, and when they returned back from Christmas break. And it seems like, okay, maybe I need to, do some tickets or something because it's really blocking a lot of traffic there. It's very annoying that you can't get out the subdivision.
Subdivision, yes, ma'am. I would once again follow up with the HISD trustee. Let them know, hey, I contacted you about this issue before. I hadn't heard a word from it, and then also, and then maybe go to a meeting. Make a call. Maybe that may sometimes emails. If folks, I know I get 100 emails a day, so I do my due diligence to get through those emails. But sometimes you miss one, you miss two, and they could be a real important issue to someone. So I would definitely follow up with HISD, but they're going to be the ones that's going to be able to give you the answers that you need and help you resolve that situation.
And also, Mr. Green, I have a senior ditch on the side of her home, and I told her, I called 311, and they told me it was not her ditch. It belonged to the city. And I asked 311, were they going to report it to the city to be cut? It looks very bad. It's overgrown. It's brown and green right now. Someone came out and tried to do the edge of it, but it's dangerous off in that hole right now, and it's flooding over there. So whom do I speak to regarding that, since it belongs to the city? Do I need to call back in to get another number?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I do deal with the council.
Yeah, I would call back in 311, let them know that you're unsatisfied with the request, the request that you made. The results are unsatisfactory. I would also contact my council member. So you're working on both ends. You're working with the city and its process, and you're also talking to your council member about its process. I would take pictures of the ditch, so you can definitely send emails, and someone can get a visual of the situation and how dire the situation is, and then hopefully that will, by doing both of those things, that will help the situation get resolved quicker and more efficiently.
Okay, I've that was my path that I have been following, and I say thank you to my city councilman because they are following through on the pictures that I do send in and the water leaks that I have been sending in. And I wanted to ask about one more. Oh, the one that you said for citizens, is that with the
Complete Communities University?
No, sir, I've signed up for that. I apologize, with the multi-service centers that you said you can sign up.
Oh, yeah, if you go to
seniors.
if you go to the multi-service centers, the Department of Neighborhoods has representatives there. They're housed in the multi-service centers, the Citizens Assistance Office, or you can call the number. There's a number of the Citizens Assistance Office on our departmental website. And if you're interested in, you have a senior that could utilize the mowing services, definitely call. You can, like I say, either call or go in and talk to one of the CLs, the citizens liaisons, and then they can take down that information. And then essentially what happens after they take down that information, they forward that information over to me. And then my job at that point is to try to get volunteers to come out and assist with the request.
Okay, what about citizens with roofs that are leaking within their homes and it looks very bad outside? How can seniors get assistance with this? Because I have a gentleman in my neighborhood and I know he's in need for this. And whom can we contact?
There are a lot of nonprofit organizations that you could contact for that. If you shoot me an email,
okay.
And if you shoot me an email, I can send you a list of nonprofits that maybe work in your community that can provide those services for that citizen.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. This has been a very good meeting this morning. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, ma'am. Do you have my email address? You want me to give it to you again?
Yes, sir. You have paul.green at houstontx.gov.
Yes, ma'am. And I spell green the right way without an E, like money. It's money green. Yes, ma'am.
Money green. I got
money green.
And the number is 713-280-9910.
Yes, ma'am. That's my office cell.
Yeah.
That's my cell phone, rather. And you can call my office at 832-393-1061.
Thank you so much. This has been a very informative meeting this morning.
Thank you for signing in.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Myra and Ms. Mia.
Thank you so much for coming back.
There's a couple more questions. Ms. Mansfield, Ms. Ernest, she said that she reached out to HPD Mobility and Harris County Precinct 7 for the traffic with the school zone. And she said they both responded. So maybe HPD Mobility might be able to assist you also.
I will do that. Thank you so much. I'll check and see if that's in our area. HPD Mobility.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And Harris County Precinct 7.
Okay, Precinct 7.
Yes, ma'am. And Ms. Mansfield said they both responded well.
Does Precinct 7 come over in Precinct 3's area?
No, so you would have to call Precinct 3.
I have you. Okay, I'll do that. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ms. Ernest.
Thank you, Ms. Ernest.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate this call.
The next question is from Ms. Matt. Will the city be installing sidewalks in Old Sunnyside? And what is the number to get volunteers to cut yards?
The number for the volunteers, you would need to go through your CL, your Citizen Assistance Office, but you can definitely call me 832-393-1061. In regards to your first question, I think I will refer you back to your council district office. They can answer that. That sounds like a capital improvement project, and they can answer that question more so than I could.
For getting something like that done, would it be helpful that multiple people in the neighborhood or multiple people on the block continuously call as opposed to it just being one person?
Yes, ma'am.
That they know that it's a great concern. So Ms. Nat, if you could probably get a couple of other neighbors to call as well.
Yeah.
That way they'll know that it is a larger concern.
The squeaky wheel get the grease, something to that effect. The louder you are, the more people you have that are with that concern. Things tends to happen faster and more efficiently.
And also, I just wanted to mention too, that's why we have council sessions If you don't get things resolved through emails, phone calls, you're getting the runaround. That's what council sessions are made for. So you can either attend council sessions in person, or you can dial in, call in, Zoom, like how we're doing now, to address your concerns. It's open to the public. This is what it's made for constituents, for residents to let be known what's going on in their neighborhoods, the problems that they're having that are not being resolved. That is another avenue, another course of action that you have the right as a citizen of the city to address.
How do they know, or like, is there a schedule of when council sessions are held, or how do they know when to tune in?
I believe open session is it's either Tuesday or every Wednesday. If you go on the city's website to the mayor's page, and
Tuesday.
you go every
I'm
Tuesday.
trying to, if you give me a minute, I'll put the link in the chat.
Thank you, Ms. Rachel. Because I was about to get them lost.
Comcast Xfinity Channel 16 at 9 a.m. on Wednesdays. You can view it, but Ms. Gutierrez will put the link so that you can see when they're scheduled and when you can attend through virtual or in person.
Ms. Walton is just a wealth of information.
I was about to say, Jen
I
already answered the question. Man, I gotta give Ms. Walton her own show.
absolutely love it.
All about, and that's what I love about the coffee and conversation. It's where the community meets with the different City of Houston Department representatives, but 9 times out of 10, the community already has the answers, because different community members have already gone through it, have walked through the process, and have walked, I like to say, have walked through the fire and come out on the other side, winning the process. So Ms. Walton, Ms. Skerlock, Ms. Mansfield, Ms. Nat, Ms. Ernest, you guys are always, and Ms. Hughes. I see Ms. Sammy Hughes. How are you doing, Ms. Hughes? These are the community leaders that are always here, and they're the ones that are always battling, but at the same time, they're helping other community members, get the right information. Thank you, guys. You never leave us alone, and you never let us go through this fire alone. So thanks for always helping us.
There were a couple of questions that were emailed to during the registration. A do not block intersection sign is needed at West Orem and South Post Oak at the Walgreens and CVS. How do you request better frequency of the esplanades being serviced in this same area? Lastly, I am interested in the community leadership program that was mentioned during the last segment. How do I find out more information about that? So who do they talk to about do not block intersection signs and the more frequently cleaning of the esplanades?
That would be council district, their council district office concern.
And the community leadership program, is that the
Complete Community University?
Okay.
Yes, that is, applications are still live. They August 31st is the deadline. So if you're interested, definitely go and apply and get us your application.
Okay. There's another question. Who do I talk to about commercial vehicle box trucks, specifically in the cabs and 18-wheelers being parked on our street?
That could be an HOA situation, because I know I have that here within my neighborhood, and we contact our HOA. But depending, it might be either HOA. I would have to make a call to your HOA. Obviously, do a follow-up call with your council district office as well. See if they've gotten some complaints, additional complaints about that. Those would be the first 2 steps that I would take.
Ms. Mansfield asked the question. Mr. Green, she's putting you on the spot.
Uh-oh.
She wants you to give your background information on your past employer and the City of Houston experience.
My background information, a bio. Okay. Ms. Mansfield.
That's why I love her.
So I have been a part of the city 18 years. I started back in 2004. When I started, I worked for a program that worked with youth, and it was the Juvenile Accountability Court program. It was run through the mayor's anti-gang office, but the program was a partnership with the courts. I did that for a couple of years, and then from that, I went to a gang street counselor, working with kids that are on probation, working with school districts, young people that were making poor choices, trying to figure out how to support them, whether it was, working with them through nonprofits or working with them through just the office itself. I was much younger then, much thinner. I had hair. I had dreadlocks all the way down to my back, if you can even imagine that. I did that for a couple of years. I left the city, went to HISD, and had the pleasure of working for HISD. And then the city brought me back to oversee a mentoring program out of the Gulfton and Hiram Clark area. So I did that. And then after that, I was, how the city, or how a job has in that fine print says other duties as assigned. I was given other duty as assigned, which happened to be volunteers. And so I was doing running programs, I did a fatherhood program, working with young men that came from single parent homes or were young fathers. And I was doing that on top of working with volunteers. And then after Harvey came, my full-time job became working with volunteers and getting volunteers to support support our mission essentially for the city. And and from there, I went to the director's office, and then an opportunity came for this particular position, and it was the right fit. And I pushed my chips all the way into the table, and I won, so to speak. It's more work, obviously. I was sharing earlier. I was working late, putting the PowerPoint together, working late, reading applications for the Mayor's Youth Council. It's been a great joy, though. I have my undergraduate degree from the University of Houston downtown. I have my master's degree from the University of Houston downtown as well. And so other background information, I've been why I know how long I've been with the city. Thereabouts, I've been married about that long as well. So, those two dates mirror one another. And I have a young daughter who's 8 years old. If you can see behind me, those are her baby pictures right there. And so that is Paul Green Jr. I am a junior. That is Paul Green Jr. in a nutshell.
Thank you, Mr. Green.
Oh, my pleasure.
I'm sorry. Myra, one more thing. I know a couple of people asked about resources for seniors. I do want to mention that the Harris County Area Agency on Aging has a variety, and I'm talking about tons and tons of resources for seniors that range from nutrition, healthcare, repairs to their homes, help assistance with medications. So for those of you that were asking about services for seniors, you can go contact the Harris County Area Agency on Aging, which is affiliated with the Houston Health Department. And then I put the link to their website there where you can go and inquire about services for seniors. So I just wanted to mention that real quickly.
Thank you, Ms. Rachel.
Mr. Green.
Yes, ma'am.
Linda Skurlock here.
Yes,
I'm looking at information I received at a meeting about the large trucks,
the
18-wheelers. And according to what this says here, you can report violations to 311 or to Park Houston.
Okay, yeah, Park Houston.
Right.
I have a whoever, I don't know who the person had asked that question. If you would send me an email, I have a contact over at Park Houston that can assist you with that situation.
Right. With the HOAs, they would probably have to do the same thing, but a lot of us don't live in HOAs.
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't know if the lady lives in an HOA, but with civic clubs, that's our only go-to.
Gotcha.
as I said, I didn't know you could do it with Park Houston. But I did learn in one session, the difference between what the city considers a commercial truck and what, yeah, it's something that has to be on the door to indicate that's a commercial truck. And that was an eye opener for me. I didn't know that, but you have to distinguish the box trucks and the commercial trucks and what's considered a commercial truck in Houston.
Wow, Ms. Gerlach, thank you so much. You know, we can probably have that representative come in and give a presentation, because that would be great information for me, myself. So I'm sure a lot of the other community members would like that information. Ms. Gerlach, I will call you after this meeting, virtual workshop, and then I'll get that information from you. Thanks, as always. Are there any other questions?
Someone asked, Ms. Nat asked about, are there programs to help kids learn to read? I guess like maybe at the different community centers, if they have those kinds of programs.
I think you could go to the community centers, or you've got special nonprofits that would be able to assist you. You have,
yeah, I have a neighbor. I have neighbors whose children they're very poor and they can't. Their parents speak Spanish, but they speak English, but they can't read it. I'm trying to see how I can help them. And I bought them some books, but I'm on a fixed income. I can't keep buying books. But I was wondering, was there some help I could get to help them? They want to read, and I guess the schools aren't too crowded or something. I don't know, but they're young kids.
Is that you, Ms. Brumsfield?
Baker Ripley will probably be the one to assist you. But you know what, Ms. Nat? Send me an email, and then we will try to find some organizations in your neighborhood that might be able to assist that family.
I know ACC provides those ESL classes as well, so that may be an option.
Is this an open forum to speak?
Yes, it is.
Is this an open? I wanted to ask reply to the educational piece about the kids. It depends on how young the kids are. You said Baker Ripley, but also there's something with school district. If a child is old enough to be in school, you can contact the administrative office and they will direct you to some places, whatever school district the children are in, that will help them. And I have a question about the city too.
Go ahead.
I had sent in a question earlier that was about some of the underground piping and things and CenterPoint Energy. And I just wanted to ask if anybody else had received any of those types of mailers about paying extra on your bill monthly. And I wanted to know if that was just a residential thing or if it was a combination of residential and the area with CenterPoint. If we are already paying a bill and there are already functions that they're due, I see that there are new diagrams that pertain to your own personal household, but when it pertains to them, I wanted to know the difference. If anybody knows anything about that or have received it in yourself in the city of Houston.
I know with me, the CenterPoint would handle their own purpose, their own part in their own area. So we did purchase ours for anything that happened in our property ourselves. So if any of the lines broke on our property, then it's covered as an insurance.
Yeah. I was gonna say the same thing, but I live in Katy, but I got that correspondence 8 months, 12 months ago, something to that effect, and it's to that deal. I know the city. I know there might have been a lawsuit with the city and the federal government in regards to piping and things of that nature, and that may be why that the blast has kind of gone out to more folks. So that may be the reasons why, but outside of that, I couldn't give you a definitive answer.
Thanks, Ms. Nat, Ms. Adam, Ms. Kim, sorry about that. I was just talking to Ms. Nat. And it seems like when we're talking to one person, we're going to the other at the same time, typing at the same time. Thank you, Ms. Haddon. Are there any other questions?
Thank you.
Myra,
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Gerlo?
someone asked about the children. If these kids are in school, they might need to visit the wraparound specialist if they're in HISD.
That's it. That's exactly right. Wraparound, HISD, a wraparound would be able to assist them in their school district.
Okay.
I
Do you?
also posted the City of Houston, they partner with outside resources for adult literacy programs. So I put that link in there too of agencies that help with adult literacy.
And Ms. Nat, if you will email me, I will get the information for the HISD wraparound in your school district.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a quick concern though, Miss Natalie, are you okay? You don't sound like your normal self.
I don't feel too well right now, but that's okay. I don't thank you, but I don't feel too well right now.
Oh, well, I hope you feel better.
Yeah, well, thank you for signing in.
There's a at the Bureau of Vital Statistics, when you go there, you don't have to stand in the lines. You can sign in and you go sit in your car and they'll chime your phone to let you know when you're close to your numbers coming up. And I was wondering, did y'all have something like that for when you vote, where you don't have to stand in those lines? You can sit in your car and wait for your phone to say, okay, you can come on in and vote.
No, ma'am. Unfortunately, we do not.
When you vote, they do have one, sir.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yes, they do have, because they have, I volunteer, I vote with, I work with the voting every time they come out. They do have a bell that you can drive up to and you can ring that bell and they'll come out and they'll bring everything to you so that you can vote, just making sure that you have your information that they're needing for you. And be patient with them because they have to take the machine back in and do the casting for your vote. They do have that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's something new.
No, it's curbside voting.
Right, that's right. That's the word, curbside voting.
Curbside vote.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions? Ms. Ernest, I saw that you had your hand up.
I did. I was wanting to ask about the education because our church do have books for children. And it, as I say, it all depends on the age, as the young lady said, the age of the child, that we do have books for children. If Ms. Myra, if you can get that information for me, I'll be glad to, bring them up to you for her.
Fantastic. Thanks, Ms. Ernest.
You're welcome, because some schools don't have wraparound specialists right now.
Thank you for giving that on. So what do they use, Ms. Ernest?
They're trying to fill the positions.
Okay.
Because some schools don't have librarians right now. It's a big shortage of a lot of a lot of positions there at the schools. You have to really find out. And that's why I say that community needs to help with that, because I volunteer at schools also, and it's very sad of what's going on.
Yeah, because a parent,
her
mother can't really speak. I can't even speak to her because her mother can't speak English, but the little girl, she's going to the 5th grade, and the little boy, he's going to the 1st grade. But I just give them books and try to, help them with, I buy them those CDs to read, put in the CD player to play along while they read.
That's nice. And Ms. Nat, just pass me the information and I will get with you. And if everyone looks at your chat, you'll notice that Rachel Gutierrez is sharing all the links for a lot of information sites. So make sure you're documenting those links, because that's really important for each one of us, as well as Nia, will the chat be those links be attached to,
To the recording, yes.
okay, all right.
Yes.
And the other thing is the CDs. It's hard to find CDs now. That you used to could buy the CDs, find the CDs that read the story while the kid listens. But it's hard to find those, and the ones I find on Amazon are very pricey,
You-
like $20-something.
you- The Houston Public Library has Audible or like audiobooks that you can actually download and hear. So, and then they have like a whole version of all kinds of kids books and juniors or juvenile books that the kids can actually download. So if they
They
download,
don't have a way to download. They have to have a book and a CD because they have a CD player, but they don't have.
Don't the schools give them laptops also nowadays?
They don't. She
think so.
doesn't have one.
Okay. Well, you know what, Ms. Nat, what we will do is I will call you and you and I will, you'll pass me the family's information, and then
Okay.
I speak Spanish, and we'll go out and try to assist in whatever way we can.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nat.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any other questions, remarks?
I'm trying to go back through the chat to make sure I hadn't missed anybody's questions or comment.
And we are so grateful to each one of you for taking time out of your busy schedule. You know, this is all about Houston. This is all about giving back to the Houston communities, and you all never let us down. And that is the greatest part about Coffee and Conversation. We've had Coffee and Conversation since, Ms. Gerlach, maybe 2014, and you all have been here ever since. You don't miss a day, you don't miss a time, and you're always assisting everyone with whatever questions they have. And this is what we call the Houston way. You know, I love to say this because the Houston way is all about giving back to everyone. Everyone is always trying to help each other in whatever way we can. We never give up on each other, and we're always standing by each other with information, assistance, or just, you know, support. Thanks, everyone. Ms.
Thank you,
Neal,
Mara.
any other questions, Mr. Green? Ms. Gerlach, yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I just said thank you. I try to be a source of information if I have it for, people, because I know a lot of people don't understand or don't know. So I try to, with my civic club, I try to educate people. So that's pretty well my calling in life.
And
But
you know, Ms. Gerlach, when I first started, you and Ms. Mansfield have been leading and guiding me all the way. So I truly appreciate you both. And it's so funny when we were at actual meetings, they would say, no, Ms. Hippolyte, we're gonna, this neighborhood handles it this way, this neighborhood handles it that way. So they've always kind of led and guided us through the process. So thanks again for always giving back to your communities.
And this is kind of what it's all about too, kind of paying it forward, making sure that you help share that information, because if people don't know, they just don't know. And it does none of us any good to keep this kind of information to ourselves. If the neighbors can utilize the service or get access to the resources, then by all means, then definitely share. And I definitely appreciate you guys coming in and joining in the conversation and letting everybody know, hey, I know about this and I know about that, and becoming your own source of information by coming in and gathering everything that you have and then taking it back out into the community. That's what community leaders do.
And we have great members here, like Ms. Rachel Gutierrez. She used to work with the health department, and she, anytime anything has to do with seniors, with health, with anything with the city of Houston, I go to Ms. Rachel. So I mean, she has a lot of wealth of information and can kind of help us, stroll along when you have questions. So thanks, Ms. Rachel. Really appreciate you also, because you're always there and assisting and giving us information.
And thanks for bringing that up too, because September the 13th, Tuesday, September the 13th at 1 o'clock, The Harris County Area Agency on Aging is going to be giving a presentation in conjunction with the Houston Bar Association about Medicare, Medicaid, and open enrollment. We know that's coming up at the beginning of October, and we know that there's a lot of people that have questions about how to sign up, where to sign up, how to choose, what the plans actually cover, what they don't cover. And, it's confusing to me. So I can imagine a poor senior trying to, navigate and figure that kind of thing out. So definitely come back and join us for that. Or even have a group setting. If there's a group of people that don't know, that they can all sit around the computer screen together and watch it and all get the same information and ask whatever questions that they may have. So definitely join us for that.
And Nia, on that, please come and get educated, because if it looks really good, 9 times out of 10, if it looks really good, you need to really get educated on the process, because we've received a lot of concerns from seniors when they're looking at Medicare and the Advantage programs, and when they leave Medicare and when they go to Advantage program, there's different processes that are going on that if you're having these concerns with yourself, you need to just get educated and make sure you make the right decisions for what's best.
And scams and fraud. This is the time that a lot of people are going to be sending out a whole lot of information, asking you to call them or verify your information and all that kinds of stuff too. So make sure that you know who it is you're talking to when it comes to choosing that plan and service. Ms. Hatton, did you have something else you wanted to share?
I have a comment to make.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Hatton.
Ms. Hatton, you're on mute.
You're on mute.
Yes, I was just saying that thank you for sharing today. I was glad to see something that pertained directly to the community and the things that are on the ground that people are concerned about all the time. So I really appreciated being able to get in on this today. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Feel free to join us again next month too. Next coffee and conversation date, if everybody wants to write it down, is Tuesday, September the 27th.
May I make a comment?
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Mansfield, go ahead.
Okay. Earlier this month, I attended a seminar that was held by Harris County Area on Aging. They had the Catholic Charities. They had the person spoke for Medicare. They spoke on the scams that's going on. It was a 4-hour seminar, and I cared enough to drive from my home all the way over on High Star just to participate and learn. It was very interesting. Now, you haven't mentioned what time the one is on the 13th. I probably won't be in on it, but they had several speakers from different organizations, and they even had a person that was signing, for the hearing impaired. I thought that was quite impressive also, but this was done in person.
Thank you, Ms. Mansfield. And that's what we're trying to do. That's what the month of service is all about, is making sure, because Nia and I are not the professionals. I mean, we are professionals, we are in the administrators, but when we're talking about specific discussions, just specific topics, we want to make sure that the professionals are giving the presentations. Just like we have Mr. Paul Green with the Office of Neighborhood Engagement. He is the professional. He's the one that knows from A to double X. And we want to make sure that all the professionals are the ones making the presentations. And that's what it's all about. We'd love to say, Nia and I'd love to say we know it all, and Ms. Mansfield, I know, you guys think I act like I know it all, but we do not. We want to make sure we have the professionals, just like we have Mr. Paul Green today. We'll have other professionals coming in and making sure that you guys are all informed and educated in the right process. Thank you, Ms. Mansfield. That was awesome. Are there any other questions or are there any other comments?
Ms. Nat says, can they teach simple sign language to use in case of an active shooting situation or where you need to communicate or need to remain quiet to communicate?
Actually, that's an awesome suggestion. I never thought of something like that. We will discuss it and see if that's something that is needed, but I think that's a great idea. And thank you, Ms. Nat. I'm sure the schools already do that. They have specific rules and regulations and preparations for things like that. Am I correct, Mr. Green, on something like that?
I would say yes.
So the children can text can sign each other, and then when those children in Uvalde tried to call the 911, some of them were killed because the guy heard them talk. And I was wondering, I know it can't be done real fast, but if we could text 911, because if you're in a situation and you can't talk.
I think you can.
You can
I
text.
think there's a text, yeah.
Oh, okay.
911.
You can text 911.
I didn't know that.
And the school districts are coming up with different programs and different processes. So I would call your school district to confirm, but at the same time, we can work on a different program here also if the community sees as fit.
Okay. All right. Again, please feel free to come back and join us as often as you'd like for coffee and conversation. The next session will be on Tuesday, September the 27th at 10 a.m. If following this presentation, there is a brief little survey that kind of pops up on the screen. If you can just take a couple of minutes and answer those few questions to make sure that as a month of service that we are addressing the issues and concerns that you all may have. If there are any presentations that we do not currently offer that you guys may also be interested in, please feel free to give us your feedback. We'd love to hear from you. That's the only way we know how to continue to update and change and evolve our program offerings to you guys. So thank you guys very much for continuing to support and come out and join in these conversations. It is a wealth of information. We thank you guys very, very much. We would not be able to continue to do what we do if you guys don't attend. So thank you very much for that.
I never can see the survey.
You'll get it right as soon as we leave. Just
as soon as you hit end, there should be a link that pops up on the screen asking you to do a survey.
Okay, thank you.
So one of the things that we wanted to make sure is to remind you guys that the month of service is here for you. Make sure you go register at nrcdc.org for any of our virtual workshops. Coffee and Conversation is all about you. The Houston community, we like to say it's the Houston way. The Houston way is the community leaders working together with the city of Houston and knowing that you're not by yourself. A lot of times you go through a struggle and you say, well, I feel like I'm by myself because I go from one department to another department. Well, Coffee and Conversation is about you speaking with the different Houston community representatives and getting the right information. And just letting you know you're not alone. Mr. Green, thank you so much, Paul. We really appreciate and we'd like to welcome you back for another presentation. This new division is roaring up and going from one step to the next. So Paul, we'd love to have you back within 3 months or sooner to give us an update on what's new with the Office of Neighborhood Engagement.
It's my pleasure. Thank you again for having me. I truly appreciate their questions. You guys are extremely engaged, extremely knowledgeable. Thank you for schooling me. I really do appreciate that. You gave me some stuff, you gave me information that I had no idea of. I hope you've enjoyed your coffee, whether it was with 2 creams and 1 sugar or strong. I've enjoyed my cold water and I've been holding on. And so I'm going to jump off and go to the little boys' room. Because the conversation has been going back and forth, moving, and I didn't want to miss anything. But once again, I want to thank you guys for having me. You have my contact information. Definitely reach out to me, and I look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Ms. Rachel, would you like to say something before we say goodbye? Or adios?
I think we've covered everything, and we're just appreciative of you guys. So thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
And happy belated birthday to Miss Rachel Gutierrez.
Yay!
Thank you. Blessed to see another year. Thank you.
Indeed,
Guys,
indeed.
thank you so much. No, you're not alone. We're standing right by your side. The Department of Neighborhoods, the City of Houston, as well as NRCDC, and the month of service is here to always assist you in whatever concerns you have. Thanks, everyone. You guys have a great day, and we will see you next month. Thank
right.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Miss Kathy.
Hey, Miss Mansfield. Miss Gerlach, thank you.
Thank you.
Again.
Miss
See y'all
Nia,
next
how do you
time.
do the survey if you're on the phone?
You know what? I can send it. I can email it to you, Miss Ernest.
Hey, Miss
Okay,
Nia,
great. Thank you.
can we make sure that the survey is also attached to
For the
the,
recording,
yeah.
when I send the link for the recording, yes, yes,
Okay.
indeed. I will definitely do that.
because a lot of the community they don't stay on.
Yep, that's fine. I can definitely send that out. All
Hey,
right,
Miss Nia,
All right.
thank you for joining us. Ms. Clementina, thank you. Ms. Foreman, thank you. Ms. Freddie, thank you. Or Mr. Freddie.
All right. You all have a wonderful remainder of your day. Take care.
Stay safe.